What is success? Number one, peace of mind, free of anger, guilt, and fear. Number two, high level of health and energy. And I think even Warren Buffett talks about that too, that you can have everything in the world, but if you don't have your health and your energy, it's going to be hard to feel successful and enjoy those things. Number three, loving relationships. Number four, financial freedom. Not preoccupied with money to pay bills. You have worthy goals. And number six, feeling of personal fulfillment and self-actualization. This one tip I'm about to tell you is going to help you with everything, including self-actualization. I tell Brooke this all the time. The biggest tip I can give you is control your emotions. When you are triggered, or you are saddened, or you are made angry, or you are shocked, you're speaking with a coworker, you're speaking with a friend, something happens to you, the best thing you can do is try to control your emotions. I'm not saying don't feel those emotions, but take some time to think about how you're feeling, process it. A lot of times, I will get a triggering comment, or my feelings might get hurt, or maybe I am in traffic and someone cuts me off, which I'm not a road rage kind of girl. But then have you ever had like someone pull out in front of you and you're like, oh my God, and then you're looking at somebody really old and they probably shouldn't even be driving, and you're like, oh, okay. That's what I'm getting at. And then a lot of times someone will say something to me either on a DM on Instagram or an Instagram post or YouTube or in public, and they'll say, you look like so-and-so. Maybe it's a person I don't want to look like. All these different things that can affect our mood and our attitude and our relationships. A lot of these things, if you will take the time to process them. For instance, if I get a comment on YouTube, I will think to myself, is this true? Do they have the right to feel this way? Does this really change anything? Am I happy with what I said? Am I living true to my beliefs? And I will process through it. Sometimes I will realize that maybe I could have said some things better. And I've told you guys many times that I have said things that I wish I would have phrased better. I wish I would have explained myself better. I should have given better context. But it triggered some people. And then they lash out at me. And then I have become very good, if you'll notice, not to lash back out, not to defend myself. What I really try to do is process how I'm feeling, why do I feel this way, and just kind of work through the emotion. Does it hurt my feelings? Does it make me angry? Is your first instinct to just punch right back? All of those things. If you were to do those things, punch back, spill your gut, tell too much, show someone that they've crushed you. I mean, a lot of times I can take things very personally and it can crush me, but I would never want that person to know it because I know that they didn't mean it that way, and I would not want to make them feel bad. I think that's a very big thing with your husband and your parents and family. Sometimes if they say something to you that is just a little bit like maybe too blunt, too honest, I would rather suck it up than make them feel bad, because my relationship with them and the way their happiness and the way we feel about each other is far more important. And I feel that way about you guys a lot too. I really try to be mindful of your right to express your opinion, and I hope that you will give me the same. Okay, a high level of health and energy. Your health can truly, truly be affected by stress, especially anger. If you are harboring angry feelings for the person that changed lanes, or the person at work that got the raise and you didn't, or anything that you could be harboring this deep anger, it's really not going to do you any good to lash out at other people. I remember when I was in the airport, it was that time I went to Santa Fe. It was a comical flight there and back. They put me in a cab because my plane wasn't there. We got on a flight, had to get off. We had to wait for 2 flight attendants before we could get back on. Then I got to my last leg going home and the pilot didn't show up. And this man that was there, he completely lost it. He reminded me of a 4-year-old. He was kicking the trash can. His arms were going all around like crazy. I mean, he lost it. He was fussing all the way down the hallway. So as soon as I realized that the pilot wasn't there, I got up and was going to the bathroom and going to get a drink. I passed him after I went down the hallway because I remember I was coming back towards the gate. He was on the phone with someone, just cussing and going off. That really did no good. He should have been very embarrassed, but I mean, that's kind of beside the point. Could not have been good for his blood pressure, his health. He probably made some rash decisions. There's no telling what he did with that anger. And I will bet the next day, if he had waited to process that, he would have felt better. The reason they say sleep on it, there's just such a big difference in how you react and how you process things after you have taken time to sleep on it, to get the emotions out of your way. With my first husband, it was a tumultuous, very emotional relationship. I was just always on his butt about something. He was always trying to get away with stuff. And I remember whenever we finally separated and were getting divorced, as soon as I could not react on emotion, either anger, getting my feelings hurt deeply, that is when I began to heal. And until I got over that, and it took some time, it just was not getting better. I was still just in this rat race, this continuous drama of worried about what someone thought, what someone said. When we get to be women of our age, you would think that by this time we have learned this. But if we haven't taken the time to really look inside ourselves, what we could have done, how we could have handled things differently, and it's really part of designing your life. It's part of designing your day. Days build upon days, moments build upon moments of trying to build this peaceful, successful life. And part of that is not reacting to your emotions, not getting triggered by every little thing, just walking around trying to be offended. I've always thought that I have my opinion and you have your opinion. How are those opinions formed? A brother and a sister raised in the exact same family can have 2 different opinions of what went on in any given situation. We have to respect other people's opinions. And I always thought, well, my opinion is right for me. Well, it is to a degree, but that still doesn't mean what they think is wrong. I remember really getting into this when I moved in this house, but many were very hurtful with my home decor. I could log on the computer, there was an email. I could log on my phone, there's a DM. And I was like, why do people care so much about my home and why would it bother them so much? And then I realized, first of all, I'm here putting it out there and they're just wanting to contribute their opinions. I mean, as long as you don't do it in a mean way, that's very understandable. But what I couldn't understand is why would I want my home to look like someone else's home, and I'm not that person. And I had to realize that we all have that feeling of we know best, or this is how we feel. And we want to help other people do that. Believe me, because I'll try to help friends, and then as I'm saying the words, sometimes I'll think, Lisa, that isn't who they are. Just because this works for you doesn't mean it's going to work for them. And so I have gotten to the point where I try not to offer a lot of information to people unless they ask my opinion. And then I am still very careful, because when someone is not ready to receive your opinion, they can get triggered. And so I was getting triggered because I felt like it was so hurtful. But as soon as I really dug into why are people doing this? Why do, people feel this way? Why is it that some people feel like you should dress this way in a way that you don't feel good? Well, in their mind, that's what they want for you, and it doesn't mean anything bad. So just a couple little thoughts of how I've worked through this, and I have gotten to be so much better. Now, I'm not saying that things won't hurt. Like if your husband says something to you, instead of flying off the handle and lashing back out, I've told you this many times, would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? Because a lot of times that's what it comes down to. I'd rather be happy. So even if John says something to me that might hurt my feelings, I could get mad about, or if Brooke says something to me that I could make a really big deal, I could really just scold her, give her that life lesson sternly, I try to think about the whole situation. Lisa, she hasn't gone through these life lessons yet. It's better for her to learn it on her own. All of these things, and I work myself through it. Then with John, I think, Lisa, he's just a man. They don't think like we do. He didn't mean to hurt your feelings. It's not worth a big fight. A lot of times that's what I think of is who cares? And I get through it. And that's it. And it has helped me so much. Now, if I'm watching someone on YouTube and they are just constantly triggering me, then that's when you know it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with that person or anything wrong with you. It just means you're not aligned with that person. You don't have to go off or anything. You just may want to find someone else that you align better with. It's kind of like if you were looking for someone to get recipes from and you are a vegetarian, you're not going to watch a keto cook's channel because there's going to be more of an emphasis on beef or whatever. I'm just trying to think of anything. So this is something that I really wanted to share with you. It's something that I've been talking to Brooke about, especially with her boyfriend, because she can be really tough on him. It's really hard to talk to someone and to have a deep, meaningful conversation or relationship with someone that is constantly defensive. And we'll use the word triggered again because I think we all know what that means. Ready to just get butthurt about anything, always wanting to blame or feel like a victim. You can't hardly have a relationship with that person. You have to keep it so surface level. I mean, I have some friends like that. I have to keep it to these 2 or 3 things that we have in common. And if we go any further, we just can't, because I cannot remain friends with them if we go any further. And that is such a shame, because we really don't want that out of life. We want deep, meaningful relationships with our family and friends. And I would love to have a deep, meaningful relationship with you. So let me know if there's anything else I can help you with. I really, I had those videos, Ask Me Anything, and a lot of those were really good. And I did the 2 videos. But if you have any other things that you think I might be able to help you with, any other friendship problems over 50, or I know there was a lot of bringing the romance back into your marriage. I would love to talk about that. So if any of these topics and this video interest you, I do have a Patreon channel where I talk about stuff like this all the time. I love it. And I will also be doing many more videos like this on my channel. I decided to call it Midlife Magic because I think that midlife is magical. It's almost like being able to start over again with more confidence, more knowledge, and more joy in your life. Just so much good. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.